Und los geht's. Ist übrigens der zweite Restart, hat mir Yoshi mitgeteilt. Also man hat hier schon ein paar Probleme gehabt. Es ist witzig, dass nur meinem Stint es direkt am Start keine Probleme gab, aber halt danach war alles ein bisschen schwierig. Kommt nur mir der Lademodus so lange vor, oder ist der gerade echt verdammt lang gewesen? Aber jetzt sind wir da. Einstellen, ich bin hier schon gar nicht mehr drin. So, jetzt haben wir es. Im Map sieht das bisher ganz gut aus. Ja, hinten ist ein bisschen Abstand in der Production Car Class. Aber ich denke und hoffe, dass das so durchgeht. Direkt ein Quersteher von Yoshi. Ja, kalte Reifen. Tut zu früh runterschalten, ey. Tut mir weh. Da habe ich echt Angst um den Motor. Da hatten wir nämlich beim Testen schon ein paar Problemchen gehabt. Dass er da ein bisschen den Motor strapaziert hat. Und wir sehen es auch, er hat schon 0,6 Motorschaden. 0,6 ist jetzt nicht so das Schlimme. Aber ja, muss nicht sein und da ist einer fliegen gegangen. Da geht's direkt schon los. TBR Mori. Der hatte eben bei uns doch, das war der mit dem Unfall gewesen, der nicht mehr vorwärts kam, musste eben den Stint vorzeitig beenden, da kein Vortrieb mehr hatte. Und es geht direkt schon schlecht für ihn hier los. Wir gehen nochmal nach vorne. Auch Yoshi ist hier vermeintlich einer der 3 langsamsten des GT-Felds. Ist natürlich nicht so schön für ihn, dass er da auf P1 starten muss. Das sorgt natürlich für ein bisschen Chaos fürs gesamte Feld, weil er da nicht hingehört, was rein die Pace angeht. Boah, heißer Ritt, heißer Ritt. Aber ich muss auch sagen, ich kam so die ersten, ja, eigentlich 3 Runden gar nicht gut rein, muss ich sagen. Gut, ich war auch da sehr vorsichtig unterwegs, weil eigentlich war so meine Devise, ich mag das schon mal nicht vorzufahren. Ich habe auch nicht wirklich großartig im Dunkeln getestet, muss ich sagen. Das kommt so ein bisschen dazu. Aber generell, ich mag das eigentlich nicht vorne wegfahren zu müssen. Ich bin lieber derjenige, der hinterher fährt, tatsächlich. Und ja, das war am Anfang kritisch gewesen, als ich dann im Schwalbenschwanz weggeräumt wurde und dann auf P5 zurückgefallen bin. Oh, da haben wir den Abflug von... ja. Ich muss mir gleich die Namen hier wieder aneignen. Ich weiß jetzt nicht, wer auf dem Porsche hier gerade drauf sitzt. Ist das Sinister? Nein. Wolf ist es. Wolf fährt den Porsche. Ja, aber als Verfolger auf P5 ging es mir eigentlich ganz gut, da war ich zufrieden. Dachte eigentlich auch so, komm Jungs, fahrt da vorne sauber, ich hänge mich einfach hinterher, wir fahren das Ding einfach schön in Reihe und Glied dann fertig. Ja, war dann bitter, als der eine in der Mutkurve abgeflogen ist, der andere genau den gleichen Fehler halt als Hinterherfahrender gemacht hat und die dann beide dort sehr blöd bei der Mutkurve standen und ich dann eigentlich nichts mehr großartig machen konnte und dort dann reingefahren bin. Meine Idee war gewesen, und ich denke, das hat auch ganz gut funktioniert, dass ich dann wirklich, wo ich gemerkt habe, okay, ich komme da links nicht vorbei, bevor ich da gerade drauf fahre, habe ich einfach noch mal nach rechts eingelenkt, um einfach nach rechts in die Bande zu fahren. Da geht der nächste Fliegen, steht zum Glück am Straßenrand. Das war der Renegade gewesen. Ja, weil ich halt so gedacht habe, ich darf irgendwie nicht so dumm frontal jemanden aufs Heck fahren wegen meinem Motor. Bin deswegen doch noch nach rechts nochmal in die Wiese und Bande halt, sag ich mal, mehr reingelenkt und quasi damit auszuweichen. Und ich denke, das hat mich auch gesaved, dass ich den Motor halt nicht kaputt gemacht habe. Hat mich halt trotzdem in Summe, inklusive dem längeren Boxenstopp, irgendwo so um die 40 Sekunden gekostet. Mit dem bisschen Verkehr, was ich dadurch halt auch nochmal mehr im Anschluss hatte. Plus noch die Situation, wo ich vorher Scheibenschwanz rausgedrückt wurde, hat mich das Ganze irgendwo so 50 Sekunden gekostet. Das war natürlich schade. Aber ansonsten habe ich, glaube ich, noch ganz gut Schadensbegrenzung generell betrieben. So, LMP fährt vorne sich eine schöne Lücke heraus, war aber auch zu erwarten. Ich sag mal, jeder, der hinter Yoshi erstmal hängt, wird natürlich nach vorne gewissermaßen viel Anschluss verlieren. Sinn ist da gerade mit einem kleinen Quersteher gewesen. Ja, ich sag mal, Yoshi wird das Feld halt hier so ein bisschen prängen, sage ich mal. Ich hoffe aber, dass alles sauber verläuft und da jetzt keine weiteren Unfälle dann auch für die Überholmanöver passieren. Production Class hängt eigentlich auch noch ganz gut zusammen, aber wir bleiben nichtsdestotrotz mal hier vorne drauf, weil ich das gerade, sage ich mal, für mich wichtig finde, um einfach zu sehen, was jetzt genau um Yoshi herum passiert. Und ich sage mal, hier haben wir definitiv auch einen gewissen Action-Faktor, wenn er da natürlich durchgereicht wird. Da hinten gibt es ein kleines Techtelmechtel von Haymaker und Snowball. Nochmal ein Quersteher von Haymaker, kommt da auf den hohen Curb und bounce von dem weg. Hat er jetzt 2 Plätze erstmal einbüßen müssen. Wir gehen nochmal nach vorne. Nochmal Quersteher von Yoshi. Ist jetzt auf Platz 4. Fuego wird wahrscheinlich kurzen Prozess jetzt auch mit ihm machen. Aber soweit eigentlich so gut. Also er ist bisher gut unterwegs, da sich so lange vorne in Top 5 halten zu können. Hätte ich jetzt nicht erwartet, dass das so gut funktioniert. Hat natürlich ein paar Raufereien schon dahinter gehabt, was natürlich auch mithilft. Aber wir sehen hier, er hat sehr auch mit der Hinterachse zu kämpfen. Gerade jetzt am Anfang in der Nacht, wo sowieso wenig Grip ist und die Lobby noch auf 50% steht, ist es natürlich umso gefährlicher. Oh, da gibt es den Auffahrt-Toucher von Fuego, haben sie aber beide halten können. Aber ich sag mal irgendwo so, der erste Reifenstint, den muss er halt einfach rumkriegen, die ersten 3 Runden. Ab Runde 4 geht es definitiv aufwärts und irgendwo so in Richtung Runde 6, da ist richtig der Grip dann schon da. Ja, da muss er einfach durchkommen, aber ich denke, das kriegt er hin. Da gehen Fuego und Celum jetzt auf der Geraden vorbei, das ist soweit aber in Ordnung. Wir schalten kurz nach hinten auf das Dreiergrüppchen, Snowball, Wolf und Ferrari. Vorne haben wir in der Tabelle gesehen, ist Celum an Fuego noch vorbei. Beziehungsweise die fahren im Parallelflug. Gehen wir nochmal drauf. Haben sie aber gut gelöst. Gab ein kleiner Kontakt, aber sind alle auf der Strecke geblieben. Hinten dran ebenso. Das heißt, Runde 1 beendet. In Führung liegend der LMP Ferrari. Platz 2 Sinister im AFZ Mercedes. Platz 3 Kamikaze Itachi, die auch schon viele Probleme bisher hatten in den ersten 8 Stunden Fahrzeit. Platz 4 für Selum, Platz 5 Fuego. Snowball jetzt auch an Yoshi vorbei. Ferrari auch nebendran, zieht aber nochmal zurück auf P8 liegend. Wird gleichzeitig jetzt von Wolf attackiert, der auf Platz 9 liegt. David auf P10, Skid P11, Highmaker zurückgefallen nach den Fahrfehlern auf Platz 12. Moki auch schon mit Problemen auf Platz 13. Renegade muss mit Schaden die Box schon in der ersten Runde ansteuern. In der Production Car Class Monica auf Platz 1 vor Even Bob. Platz 3 für den Golf, sehr gut diesmal unterwegs, ist eben ausgerollt, ohne Sprit, musste das Rennen vorzeitig oder den Stint vorzeitig verlassen. Auf Platz 4 Scenarias, Platz 5 Cole, Platz 6 Mass, auf Platz 7 und damit abschließend im Feld der Apex Dragon. Und Renegade muss sich natürlich jetzt wieder durchkämpfen, erstmal durch die Production Car Class. Fuego ist wieder an Selum vorbei, Yoshi mittlerweile auf Platz 8 zurück. Wir gehen nochmal auf Yoshi. Ja, SPX is really packed because of my teammate here, GTI Monk. He is probably one of the 3 slowest in the GT field. When we tested before, he just drove 8 minute 30 times. So yeah, we have a huge range in our driver lineup. With Ferrari Club the fastest in Stint 1, setting 8 minute 9 lap. Fabi is, I think, around 8:13. At daytime I was around 8:15, 8:16. At night I was at 8:17, 8:18 in my last stint now. Gulborn is probably driving around 8:25 and yeah, GTI Monk around 8:30. So yeah, this is a range we have there. But this was also the funny thing, because of our 2 fastest drivers were the first 2 to start the race. So since stint 3 we were starting from P1. The first 2 stints we started P4. So our slower drivers, plus me, who was a little bit in the midfield, we are going up from pole while we not belong to there. I mean, my stint was not so bad. I got 2 accidents, which were not my fault. I lost a mile in the end with it. Could be worse, could be better. Still got P2, it was okay. Yeah, but for Skullbone and GTI Monk, it's a little bit of a mess to be forced to start at P1 while they are much slower. But this is the thing, as long as they have someone behind, it's so hard to overtake on this track, obviously. So they held the pack together. Oh, Ferrari with a few problems in here. Yeah, I can try to do an English podcast right now. Don't know if, I mean, in general, we do not have many spectators anymore. First few stints we had 20 plus. Now we are in a small group of a handful of people. And I have no teammates or co-commentary in my chat here, so I will try to do it in English now, I guess. Just for the fan service, probably, and the fun on my side, to get a little bit more practice in talking in English. So this is in fact the leading car of the production cars. I never really learned English. I kinda got the basics back in school days and just started to get practice 4 years ago when I found a few new friends in a MOBA game I started to play on Nintendo because we were a team out of different European countries. So everyone was kind of talking another language. So we had no choice other to speak in English in our group. This was when I started to go in back for English to get practice in there and to learn it even better than everything else what was going on back in school when it was just my third language I had there to take class. So yeah, I'm slowly but nicely getting into this language, I guess. And this is a great fight what they do here. It's so hard at night. I mean, it is a little bit easier if some people are driving with line. And I know that most of the people use at least the braking line in Forza. I'm one of the few people I know who is driving without any assist line. The only game I ever used the line in my life was just the braking line back when I played Formula 1. For some reason, I'm not good in LMP cars, and Formula 1 cars are so much faster. I have struggled with cars like this, so I used at least the braking line. And to be fair, in Formula 1 we had weather changes. And for weather changes, the braking line was an awesome feature to have. But in Forza or other racing games, I never used the line. It would, of course, help a lot here at night for some blind spots. Probably would have helped me a lot in the first 3-4 laps when I was not really used to race in the dark on this track. But I got the hang on it. And I was happy with my pace. French was my second language. I had it for a little bit more than 10 years in school. I don't know anything about it. Because where I live in Germany, it's kinda close next to France. So it was a typical thing not to start with English as a second language in school. It was kinda common to start with French. To be honest, I did the mistake to do French because I suck at languages and French is so difficult in my opinion. I was never really a fan of it, and outside of school I never used this language. I mean, English is the world language. You cannot come around English. So with learning the basics in school and just watching international motorsport and a few other people on YouTube on English while I watch a few games there, I learned it here and there a little bit. And in the end, to be honest, you will only learn a language by doing. And just to do it for a few hours in week in school, this is not how you learn a language if you are not interested and use it in your daily life to practice it even more. This is why I cannot say anything on French other than Il n'y a rien dans le frigo and rien ne va plus. Stuff like this, you know. She's going for a good drive, I was about to say, and there's the mistake he is doing, but this looks more like a controller issue or something like that. because he was braking not to go into the barrier right now, but something is wrong that he could not turn anymore. He has no damage. What was happening there? Because he clearly was hitting the brake not to go into the barrier, but something else was really off here. So, small problem for Itachi, going back to 11th place, now back on track. Yeah, if he's driving with wheel, could be a thing. That the pedal still worked, but he could not turn around, could be a thing. This is a good guess. It would be really nice if you would have an icon. Oh, and Itachi is out. If you would have an icon to see if someone is using pad or wheel. Or even funnier, a joystick or keyboard. But I think we do not see a joystick or keyboard here in Grid 3, and I do not even think in Grid 4 someone will do stuff like this. So, what something else was also happening here, because I see my teammate GTI Monk was moving up to 7th place when he was 9th before, so he catched, of course, the place of Itachi, but this would make 8. So someone else had to have some problems in here. Was it maybe Wolf? Was he in front of GTI Monk? Not sure. We have Snowball Fan here. We can go for Snowball. He is kinda 1 second away from Zelion. Fuego is probably rising up a gap to the other two. I think Snowball will have the chance to at least catch Zelion. I think Snowball should be faster, but not if he is touching the wall. But at this place, it's not so bad if this happens. We are going back to the production class because we see that we have a fight here. The top 3 is right next to each other, and it's nice to finally see the Golf moving up in front, because the first 3 stints the little Volkswagen was at the back of the field. But this guy looks like he is one of the main drivers in the team. He had in the last stint a fuel problem. He ran out of fuel and had to go out of the stint early. But this is his revenge arc. Already on position 3, catching up to the 2 front runners in the group. Maybe with the chance to get a stint win. To collect a good amount of kilometers or miles, depending on where you live. So this is a nice fight we have here in the production class. Let me check the map just for GT stuff. But there's nothing as close as this production group. We will have the map for Highmaker because David is behind him. This should be lap number 3 right now. So we will get the first pit stops in here. I mean, let's check if someone already had to pit stop. Yes. I mean, Renegade was pitting in lap 1 because of a crash he had. Porsche skids and the 3 production cars, I'm not sure. It is possible to go to the pits in lap 2 just to do a little bit different strategy, because most likely all the cars can go. I mean, I'm not sure for the production cars, but the GT cars, all of them can go for 4 laps. So you are allowed to do a 2-lap stint also. You're not forced to do these 3-lap stints, but 3-lap stints is most likely the best strategy to do here. But we saw that Esprigen, if this is how the Golf driver is called, had a small problem, and we saw that there was a position switch for David. He could go ahead of Haymaker, and we are spectating the map for the position switch of Wolf to go ahead of my teammates, most likely in a few seconds. Because now on the straight we will move up to their view. Now on the small straights we could use the split to go right next to the bumper of GTI Monk. There was a small driver's mistake Wolf did, so small gap was opening. But I think on the long straight, the Dinger Höhe, he will catch the Mercedes. I think without slipstream, they are most likely in the same area for the top speed. So with it should be kinda easy for the Porsche driver to go in front of the Mercedes, but there was a huge slide. He lost all his momentum to the straight and is now behind David. Let's move on to the onboard of the 992 GT3. Okay, GTI Monk is probably lifting a little bit just to let both of them pass through. I mean, now we are getting our pit stops. Oh, this was close with the wall. He touched it a little bit, but nothing crazy happened. And we see that Wolf is going for another strategy, and he has way too much fuel on the car. Started probably with 100%. Or, yeah, looks like he started with 100% fuel. This is a little bit weird because there's no reason to do stuff like this. You would just lose a lot of time with the heavyweight car. But actually this was a kind of good pace what we had here. So he will move forward now with the lighter car. Let's go back to the production cars because top two still close to each other. Maybe the slipstream we will get the attack from the Toyota Supra against the Hyundai Elantra. Looks like the Hyundai is a fast car on the straight. Although the split screen is not so fast for the production cars. I really thought the Toyota can go around with slipstream, but not even close. Maybe he gets a faster pit stop. So we'll stay there for a moment to look what happens on the pits. Yeah, almost the same pit stop time. Maybe a small advantage for the Hyundai driver. If the gap is a little bit bigger now. So let's go through the field. Where do we have stuff happening? There's something going on. Oh. Was there a crash of LMP? Because he was in first place before. No damage on the car, but I think he was on the grass. Hard to see, but I think his livery is scratched on the left side. There was definitely something happening to the LMP Ferrari. Let's go back to... Okay, the fight is not there anymore. So actually we do not have any fight for position right now. Still, the first 3 positions are kinda close in the production class. 4th position can maybe close the gap over time. But for now, everything is a little bit split up here. But LMP should close the gap to Sinister again. LMP has a huge pace advantage, I guess. First stint he drove was also a really good one. In stint number 3. Kinda start to finish P1, what he could manage to do there. Could go quite fast to the front of the field in his other stint and was setting one clean lap after another to get a win. No one could even think about to touch it. And there we could see a problem for the Toyota Supra. Huge gap to P1 now, falling behind the Golf. Golf goes wide onto the grass. They can manage not to crash there, but with this small problem he had there, even is again in front of him. And we see that Fuego could close the gap to Wolf. Wolf has to pit this lap because the soft tires will not allow to go for a 5th lap. But yeah, still it is a little bit weird that he started the race with full fuel to give himself a huge disadvantage against all the other cars on track. I mean, maybe there are some other people who did the same, but yeah, to start with only fuel for 3 laps and to refuel every single pit stop back to 3 is much better than to start with a full tank of fuel and yeah, just to be in the position not to refuel at the pit stop maybe, or just not to refuel as much as the others. it's not worth it. Yeah, I think this was happening in the production car class. But it was not that much what he lost there. Obviously the moves spoiled against them. Let's hop in to the Golf. 3rd place in production car class. Right behind Toyota Supra. I see a lot of movement every single stint for the Toyota Supra. So it doesn't matter who is driving that car, everyone on this car has kinda the same problem with a really loose rear end. I haven't tried any single car. It was like before I drove the first meter, I was saying like, yeah, we drive the Mercedes. Because back in the days we had our own German league on the Nürburgring Nordschleife. And I was driving the Mercedes one season there. This car was so awesome to drive on this track. I was like, yeah, just let's move on to the car. It's so fantastic to drive there. I think it will be a good choice to sit in this car. So I was not even asking about, I mean, not even a single thought about the production cars class. But yeah, I was not even thinking about to move to another car. I'm a huge fan of Porsche in general, but Porsche physics in most of the games is a little bit strange. The 992 is okay to drive. Sadly not as good like the 2017 RSR in the game. This is an awesome car to drive. Even much more awesome to think about it's a Porsche in Forza, because Forza is one of the worst games to drive a Porsche, to be honest. But the RSR is awesome to drive. 992 is the 2nd best of all the GT Porsches we have in this game here right now. But still much harder to drive than the Mercedes. So let's see if the Supra can go ahead of the Golf on the straight. And we can see that LMP could close the gap to this Sinister. Oof. This. Oh. This was a great move to go down to Fuchsröhre to set the overtake there. But he got the payback at the end of this kind of a straight. Okay, looks like the Golf is not the fastest car on straight. Yeah, we had the same kind of thoughts back at, I think it was it Sebring? 12-hour race? We planned everything for Stint 6 to be the reset stint. Just to figure out in the race that it was not the stint we thought. Because we set the guy on there, also for this really late stint. Oh no, it was not the Sebring race, but what race was it? I'm not sure anymore. But yeah, the guy we got the stint. The plan was, okay, yeah, we know that we have huge delays for the other stints, so we will give you the reset stint that you are starting in time to finish in time to plan your night through to go to bed when you're supposed to go to bed. And then we just figured out, oh, it's not the reset stint. And I think we had a delay of 1.5 hours to this time. He was so pissed. Da ist er ja. He or she. This is the guy I'm talking about. This is how we get him to type into the chat. So yeah, we fucked up the whole stint planning because it was my mistake to think stint 6 was the reset by 7. Was it actually? Happens. We are going back to the front. Yeah. I would be happy if the delay would not be that huge, because I was like, yeah, I will go for stint 6. Let us have maybe a delay of 30 to 40 minutes. So it is okay for me to end the stint, let's say, yeah, at night at 4:30, 4:40 a.m. But to sit here, you know that my stint's not starting within the next 30 minutes. This is something I don't like to see, to be honest. That I have to stay up for 1.5 hours longer than I was supposed to be. I mean, we almost have a full driving stint delay. This is not so nice. Yeah, they had to switch back again, but still close. I mean, there's so much happening between these two guys, but first position cannot get a huge advantage out of this. Same for fourth position. So I think if the Golf and the Supra would not switch all the time the position because they do driver's mistakes, they would probably be at least right next to the first position. Maybe they were ahead of it. But it is what it is. They have the pace to close the gap. There we go with the Alpine. He just needs a little bit more to catch the others in front also. But yeah, it's not enough. No, the only car who got damaged at the start was Renegade at the first lap. And I'm not sure about Mogi, if he just had the 2 lap stints planned or if there was something in the second lap. I'm not sure about it. But these two were the only two with having damage on the car for the race so far. Haymaker just had 1-2 driving issues, but no damage so far. So we will have a look on the map for the first 2 guys, while we are back to the Golf for the second position against the Toyota. Try to say it in a nice way. with a driving issue, you know. Some others would say skill issue. Git is in the pit right now. Was there some damage on his car, or is he just on another strategy? I think probably another strategy. We're going back to the front because they are right into each other, kinda. The points on the map fused to 1. A little bit of bump drafting into the middle chicane. I mean, on GP course, it's something you can do. Now on the Nordschleife, maybe not the best idea. And we see that there was another switch between Ivan and Isprigan. And the LMP Alpine is now behind them. And David had a few problems in the Michael Schumacher has. So GTI Monk could get the position, losing it back now, but it's on a good run. I'm happy with that. And we are going back to the production cars, and we see that the Alpine has a gap again. Setting the map for the leaders. Maybe get the chance to switch fast to them if LMP sets another attack on Sinister. Just let me set my status to normal online. I forgot it for my next stint for the invites. It's like Evan is now in a better flow. Wolf cannot catch him this time and will lose on the straight line. And we see on the map that LMP got a small problem on the crest again, but is still behind. Fuego can close the gap, if I see that correctly. This could be also something. Almost half of the stint is gone, 3 more minutes after halftime. Ja, Yoshi ist ziemlich viel am Driften, was ich sehe, aber kommt bisher eigentlich ganz gut trotzdem durch. Hat sogar die erste Runde immer noch in den Top 5 beendet, tatsächlich. Fährt aber auch schön zur Seite und lässt die anderen vorbei. Aber ja, hat irgendwie ein bisschen mit dem Grip zu kämpfen. Aber läuft bisher trotzdem ganz gut. Let's move on board for the Ferrari. Just see how close this really is driving to do. Maybe something you would normally not do if you wouldn't have had so many problems in the other stints before, to go that high amount of risk. Drive bumper to bumper on this track at night. But I mean, there is not much that can go wrong anymore for these guys after so much stuff that already happened. But there we can see LMP was coming from 9th position, Fuego from 12th, Salem from 13th position. There we can see what problems they already had to go through the other stints to be at the back of the field at the start. And the gap in miles is quite huge, not like the gap they do on track right now. A lot of risk, but so far it works. See how fast the Ferrari is on the straight line, if he can use slipstream to set a move here. Ooh. Used every millimeter, but without, he has a huge disadvantage compared to the Mercedes straight line speed. So not that easy to do something here. Are we... Yeah, we are on lap 6, so this is pit stop time. Let's see if he can catch him on the brake into the pits. He already got a little bit of an advantage to get into the Mercedes and not to be behind. And we see that even as in front of Isbriggen again. There was another switch before I have missed. Okay, but the Ferrari is behind again. Skid is on a different strategy. We are going for the production cars again. Have to jump on P1, P2 because there can be a move into the chicane. Close one, but again not enough. Trying to get on the side, on the outside. Oh, small mistake by the AMG driver. This is a lot of pressure LMP can set on Sinister. we see that Snowball is closing the gap to Wolf. So we will have a look onto this fight, where we let P1, P2 on the map. Let us just have a look on his engine if there's another damage. Oh, not this time. Because at the pit stop he wrote that he should maybe go for automatic. Because he switched the gears way too aggressive. There's actually gaps in there because, oh, there's the mistake by Wolf. Snowball in front now. Because the Golf did another mistake. So quite huge gaps we have in there. But we have to look forward for the pit stops because Sanarias already has one more. So he is on a long distance fight for podium because he's on a different strategy. But at the end of this lap, the others have to go to pit lane while Wolf has another problem in here on the brakes, sliding onto the grass into the wall again. So yeah, at the end of the lap, for the production cars, what is exactly happening right now, we will have in a minute. Oh, even is not going for the pit. So we have actually 3 different strategies in the production car class. Quite interesting. Scenarios with the undercut, even with the overcut, and out of carousel, LMP could set the move on Sinister, probably Sinister losing the car in carousel. So let's hop into the Alpine to see where he is. He could catch Cole, but this was not a question. Still behind the Golf. So a lot of stuff happened there for Evan and Esprigen, but still Cynarius cannot get an advantage out of what the other 2 drivers do. He's still in 4th position, not able to close the gap. So yeah, we are almost 1 hour in, so another 41 minutes to go. LMP is back on front. Sinister P2. Fuego, I thought he can close the gap, but actually not. I think it's a little bit bigger than it was some minutes ago, but still these 3 are in a little own league compared to the rest of the field. Salem has a good pace also, but yeah, their race start was a disaster. Snowball in a good 5th position. Wolf we could see a lot of struggle, but maybe this is also something. I race next stint and then I have to go to bed. And then I will stream stint 11 and stint 12 again, because stint 7 up to 10 I will sleep. Yeah, I can check fuel. Good call. Good call. He is not on other strategy. He forgot to drive into the pits. Oof. 3.7. I think this will be impossible to reach the pit lane again. There is no chance to get in there, in my opinion. This is a huge one. Because they were actually P2 in our grid. 3.5 miles behind the orange Hyundai Elantra from Diablo and Monica right now. And they were 2 miles ahead of the LMP Alpine. But this is a lot of time he will lose right now trying to manage to go back into the pits. Just 2.4% left, and we are not allowed to push other cars back into pits. There's a clear no from the organization to do stuff like this, because it could be really dangerous. Because this is not the best track to slowly push someone. Oof. I mean, he tries the best to do. This car has... Yeah, he's in 8th gear right now. This is a really, really long way still to go back to pits. Driving with 2500 RPM. Trying to reach it. And there we go for disconnect. Let's see what we get after the black screen. Fuego is out. Not again. Oh man, he got another disconnect. Dang. Oh man. The race for the Viper is so cursed. Oh man. I mean, still, I love it to see that every single car on our grid is still racing. Even when we have so many teams in there since the first stint with huge problems. Problems that caused it already that the whole race was gone for them in stint 1. But it's really awesome to see that they are still going for every single stint right now. But for the Viper, 4 out of 5 stints they did not finish. I would clearly understand if they said the statement to cancel the race. I could clearly understand if they would decide stuff like this after 10 hours of bad luck happening there. Yeah, I think on other tracks they will allow it to push other cars, but Nordschleife is just, yeah, not wide enough probably to do it in a safe condition. So I think on other tracks, I mean, I do not really know if it was allowed on other tracks out of the regulations we had there. But yeah, I know that for this race it is a no-go to do because it can be really dangerous. Let's have a look on even what is his fuel. Yeah, 0.3. He's just out of carousel going for hohe 8. I mean, there's a lot of downhill section coming right now, but he is already run out of fuel. That's it for him. He already clicked on pause right now and has to leave the race. Dramatic ending for the Toyota Supra in second position for the grid in production cars class. And overall they were, let me check. They were in 10th position in the production car class out of 28 cars. This hurts a lot to see stuff happening like that. Da geht Yoshi einmal hart fliegen. Aber ich denke, er hat noch alles kann's. Ja. So after David did another mistake, my teammate did also a mistake and they are back together again. And we see that there was another switch for the lead. But LMP is back in front again. But if I had to, I would have bet my money on LMP to raise the gap. I'm kind of surprised that Sinister is still behind and could set an attack. And probably set another attack out of Slipstream right now. Because Mercedes has a speed advantage. Anyways, and yeah, with this little help, even a bigger advantage. And there he is in front again. What hurts myself to know that I have to stay up for another 3 hours right now. I don't feel like I could, but I have to. LMP tries to do something on the brakes, but cannot get it. Maybe with a switchback. Yeah, looks good. And there he is back. Earn P1. And Mass are next to each other for 4th and 5th place. It's 2:20 at night for me right now. So until I finish and I'm ready for bed, it will be 6 a.m. for me, most likely. While normally my stints would finish without any delay at 4 a.m. So that we will go for probably around 105 minutes delay into stint 6 hurts a lot. Oh, and there's the crash for Mass. Huge crash at Flugplatz, like we have seen many times today, but no damage for him. All the GT cars crashing into the barrier there were all the time with huge damage, but the Hyundai looks quite strong. Hyundai is stronger than the barrier. Lucky big moment for Mass to go out of the situation without any damage. Two still close. And Snowball can move step for step closer to Zelum. Maybe Ferrari can also do something in there. It's quite a huge gap. 28.5 minutes to go. And normally David should get my teammate. The others are quite far away. Not something will happen there. So let us go back for David to set his onboard. Oh yeah, fun fact for the timing. Since I'm in Germany, huge problems for David. Yeah, since I'm in Germany, my time was supposed to be the exact same like the in-game time we set for the stints. But yeah, with the power of delays, we are not there where we should be anymore. So the 2 a.m. in-game stints will be probably 3:30, 3:40 a.m. start for me IRL. And we see some problems for the Subaru in front of, but I mean it's a rally car. He's used to be on the press. Ooh. Close one. Losing the rear while two GT3s are behind. Could go really wrong here. Let's have a look on the big map where positions are. Yeah. We have some possibilities for nice fights. Sinister's back in leading position again. Hopping on board to the Ferrari. Just to see that he is not fast enough on the straight. Again. This should be lap 9. Isn't it? Or another set of pit stops. This was close. Yes, this is lap 9. So, first and second position in the pits. Snowball can move closer to Zelum, like we talked earlier about already. Going into the pits as well. Snowball 2. LMP was coming closer to Sinister. They're right next to each other. Now they are bump drafting out of the pit lane. Let's see if Snowball can have an advantage in pit lane against Salem 2. Doesn't really look like. It's close to GTI Monk again. This is this is always a really risky strategy to do. But it worked out. They were kinda careful. Production class is really split up, but Esprigen in the Golf needs still to do his last pit stop. Let's have a look in general. Who needs to pit? Wolf and Esprigen are the only two drivers which still need to pit. So they have to do it next lap. Otherwise they will have huge problems. We are going back to the leaders. They are next to the LMP Alpine. Maybe he tries to help his teammate a little bit, but doesn't look like it. But Sinister is careful. Yeah. He is really careful against the Alpine. This is a risky move. Okay, LMP was lifting the throttle probably not to go next to each other around Flugplatz. Still in P2, and we see that Snowball is in front of Salem now. Salem probably had some problems at some point, like LMP has right now, moving onto the grass, into the gravel, and now Sinister has a huge gap. 20 minutes to go. With the pace Sinister had before, if he is not doing any driver mistakes, he should most likely get the stint win in here. This could be the moment he was waiting for since 80 minutes, that LMP does another huge one. We are on Snowball against the only M4 in our grid, and I think in general we only have 3 or 4 of the M4 GT3s in this race. I'm not exactly sure about this. Renegade and Moki are next to each other too. Here's another lapped car. It's Paul in the Toyota Supra for Snowball and Salem, but no problem for both of them to pass. Let us have a fast look for P11 and 12. Renegade is the NWR car. I like to see that this car is behind my teammate because this is the car in our grid who should be second position, I think. Let me check. And thanks to Fireblast, Ragnar and River Winnet for the follow. I totally forgot about to mention that. We already have the results for grid 1. They finished their stint 5. So let's see, it was... the SFM Porsche is P2 and NWR is P3 in our grid. SFM is in this lobby. Wolf. Wolf is in front of my teammate. Let us check on the big map. Yeah, it's an okay-ish gap we have there. Good lead against Renegade, so I think we are fine in the position we are. Back to Snowball, where we saw a problem for Renegade before we switched. Renegade lost the position to Moki. Fuego, yeah, I don't know why it was automatically blocked. Probably just because of the multiple dots you set, I have to guess, but it's weird that Twitch auto blocked the message just because of the dots. But this is the only thing I can think about right now, but could be the reason. So I guess you got another game crash. Are you playing on Xbox or PC? If it was another game crash again. But it's really sad to see that it's the fourth did not finish for your team. This event is so cursed for you guys. This is something what no one likes to see here. 15 minutes to go. The only fight we have right now are Snowball and Salem for P3. Yeah, I drive Stint 6. So just the stream out of my driver's view. After that I really have to go to bed. But then I will stream Stint 11 and 12 in TV view again. I'm actually pissed that we have such a huge delay. Would be nice to end at 5 AM without any delay. Yeah, I mean 4 AM. Go to bed. But now it will be 6 AM until I can go to bed. I saw that. Wait, you mean as a lobby host or what? Because normally it was Darksa as the host. Or do you mean that you broadcast TV Stint 6? Wolf is inbox. So it is just him left who needs to go out of the pits, but he could do that time. Things right here, Renegade sadly with an extra pit stop. Where are you coming from, Ragnar? Where do you live? So you are my neighbor. I'm right next to you in Saarland in Germany. Once back in the day, Saarland was part of France. Not gonna lie, they did the right decision to be Germany again. And we had a time where Saarland was its own country. This was also really funny back then. So Wolf is in 7th position. Only 12 minutes to go. My teammate is still close to David. Can Wolf maybe close the gap to Skid? I'm not sure about it. LMP could close the gap a lot to Sinister and P1. Maybe we get a fight in the end between these two again. So yeah, maybe we get Sinister against LMP. We have Snowball with Salem right now. Not sure if Wolf can go to Skid. I think David and GTI Monk should stay in this all also if they would not make any more mistakes. We see Moki has an extra pit stop too, so he will lose the position to Renegade again. Production class is done the way they are on track right now. Nothing will happen there anymore, I guess. So we stay for P3, P4. Let's see what they are doing. Ten minutes, 40 seconds to go. 10 minutes to go. LMP can still close the gap. Wolf actually can close it to skid 2. So we will get more stuff to happen at the end of the race. Daxa already invited me. So let's see how many people are already in lobby. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people are already in there. We saw that Snowball lost the position to Zalom. Let's see if a few more people are going into the voice chat for the next stint. I will technically end it here before they actually end the stint. I think I have to, if Darksa already invited me. I'm not sure if it is possible for me to let these 8 minutes run. I would like to. I mean, I already fucked up my own preparation, you know? Normally it was not my plan to stream Stint 5 until the end. Yeah, I did no preparation lap. 2 hours break, hopping in on pole position again. A position what I'm not happy about to start the race. Only still people in the voice chat, so I think it's okay to stay in here. Technically, Darksaw can send me another invite to show me that I really have to go. But yeah, only 10 people are in voice chat there. So I hope and I guess it is fine. Well, LMP is at the back of Sinister again. Let us just have a look for P3 right now, because I think on the straight Mercedes can set an attack against the M4, since this car is not the fastest on the straight, and there we could see the move. While LMP also could set the move into the first 2 corners. Again. And we see that David has huge problems. No damage, luckily, but he lost many seconds to my teammate, losing this position also. LMP is in front, and I think he will stay in front for the 5.5 minutes to go. Was a huge pace he could set in there after his last mistake he did there. Cenarius could close the gap to Esprigan. Still not right behind. 12 people are in lobby chat right now. Sinister has to do the next stint too. So as long as the stint is not finished, the next lobby cannot start anyways. So it should be fine for me to stay here. Negate also. It's just not fine for my preparation. My teammates will maybe hate me for that, but I hope it is okay. LMP crashed. No, it wasn't LMP who crashed, it was Sinister who crashed. Sinister just got the position switch because he was going onto the grass, getting the position on there by crashing into the barrier. Okay. False alarm, I guess. Scenarios could close the gap even more, but this is not enough. So I guess the only fight we have in this race left is still P3, P4 in GT class. Also a problem with Sinister in P2 is actually that he has to stay until the end of the result calculation, because P1 has to go for the full mile and P2 has to save another second distance gap. So it will take quite a long time probably until we start our stint, and this is something I don't like to even think about. So we have 1.5 minutes to go, but most likely it will easily take another 10 minutes until we could be set to start our stint. Looks like Snowball is far away from Ceylon to set another attack there. You have to look for the leads. LMP another time on the grass, losing the position 13 seconds before the end of the race. Is he running out of fuel? He's running out of fuel. LMP has not enough fuel. He gambled with the fuel and he miscalculated it. for just a few seconds.